Something big, heavy, and powerful, with lots of bass. Stay tuned. In this video we shall be looking at Solo 9C, one of the big guns from Microlab. So let's start with the unboxing process. I did say this is big and heavy. The box it comes in as a result requires some muscle to move around. When out of the box the size is imposing, the large footprint and height should be taken into consideration if that is a concern for you. In the box there is also a bag full of accessories which consists of the remote, a HDMI cable, a Toslink cable, a 3.5mm to RCA cable, RCA to RCA cable, a coaxial cable, a left to right speaker connector cable which is of very good quality with gold-plated banana plugs. A quick information about the remote. It can adjust all the functions of the speaker. It may or may not be of use to everyone. More important information is that in the past I have had dreadful experience with the remotes provided by Microlab. When we used to stock the Solo 6C and Solo 7C, the supplied remote had extremely high failure rate. So much so that whenever I went to the distributor and mentioned failed remote, the technician would walk into a room and immediately come out with a spare remote with a smile, which indicates that they are handing out remotes like candy. Only consolation is that that was a few years ago. I hope Microlab has improved their remotes since, and this is better than what it used to be. Okay, moving on to the speakers themselves. It is a stereo speaker set with advertised power rating of 140 watts RMS. Removing the front mesh, we have two 6-inch woofers on each box, complemented with a silk tone tweeter. In a previous video I was joking about Microlab putting these tweeters in every speaker they make. I suppose they kept the tradition going. On the side we have the dials. First the volume, which also functions as an input selector if pressed. The little LED under it lights up when pressed. Below the volume dial we have the treble and bass dial. The dial can spin endlessly, so the engraved marker means nothing really. At the back we have two ducts for two woofers. And in the main unit at the bottom we have the I/O. First we have the HDMI in and out, so it works as a pass-through. There are two different RF inputs, then optical and coaxial inputs. And at the bottom we have the hardwired power cord and the power switch. I really wish they had placed the power switch next to the volume controller. That would have been more convenient should we wish to turn the speakers off. Finally, down towards the bottom right we have the left to right speaker terminal, which is also of decent quality. The front mesh attaches to the speaker box using these plastic legs. Not a big fan of these as they could bend easily if not handled with extreme care. Now, to understand the speaker's nature, let me start with my setup. Previously I had the Solo 15 behind the monitors facing directly at me. At this distance with 80 watts RMS power, it all worked very well. The only reason I looked elsewhere was that these had no digital input. It only uses RF inputs. So as the replacement I got the Solo 9C. And as mentioned earlier, the size has to be taken into consideration. Placing the speakers in right position is also very important. The speakers need at least 6 inches of space off the wall, plus the size of the room also makes a big difference on how you experience the sound. This is the approximate layout of the room. The desk is on the top right corner of the diagram. When sitting on the chair, the base appears to be less than when I'm standing near the back wall around this region. However, when I was testing the speakers in an outdoor setting, the openness helped the speaker to spread the sound without the reflections of the wall, and the result is more even experience. Speaking of experience, you must be wondering, what is it like? Well, as the power rating suggests, it delivers a punch that for its price range is hard to get. Though the sound profile is not as refined. Let's just say it's a chunk of beef as opposed to something a bit more refined or sweet. I don't mean to convey the wrong impression. These speakers are capable of reproducing decent sound, decent enough for most, But if you care about the mids, this speaker is very clearly not one for you. Bass heads, on the other hand, can rejoice. As far as the lows are concerned, the Solo 9C will without hesitation go to its limit of 140 watts on demand. If pushed further, it will distort, but there is no artificial shaping to prevent anything. As far as readings go, I have clocked the speakers to produce 120 decibels at 30 Hz continuously. In real life, that is louder than a jackhammer. The tweeters work. It's sometimes a little sharp, but overall works well. Microlab had a working formula with the Silk Dome tweeters, so why change? Speaking of 10, here's something I find a little funny. Most speakers would turn up to 10, right? Special ones go up to 11, but this one cranks all the way up to 60. I suppose you'd like to hear the speaker sound, but quick note, recording a speaker in action and then playing it back over the internet is not a valid demonstration, it's just for your viewing pleasure. Here are a few things that I myself was not expecting to face when I started the review. Some of us would be buying this for the digital inputs. Right out of the box, the optical and coaxial did not work. The HDMI input did work, which stopped after about a week. So the only thing that works at the moment is the analog inputs. When I contacted the distributor, in a nutshell what happened is that they're closing up in Australia. So they're not able to process warranty at the moment. I tried to contact Microlab several times, never replied. So this turns out to be more a consumer warning than a review. If you are considering a purchase in Australia, ask the seller about the warranty very specifically, or if in doubt, buy something else. To keep things in balance, originally I had good impressions about Microlab. Their older speakers, the 2.1s and 2.0s, all of them that I use are still in perfect working condition. The old Solo 15 that I reviewed a while back still sounds great. I use it frequently and I rate the sound quality and balance of this speaker above that of Solo 9C. Microlab made decent products in the past. Now I find it awkward to say, but based on what is going on, I do not recommend this brand for you to purchase, unless you are okay with the risks involved. If you are not in Australia, make sure to inquire about warranty first. If you are in Australia, I hope this video helped you. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Your comments and suggestions I look forward to. Please feel free to browse our channel for other great videos. And we are also in Patreon, so your support is greatly appreciated. Hope to see you next time. Bye for now.